More basketball news. Today, the Sixers got swept.
They're man.
And did you see
They
the
have
Celtics fans with the virtual Celtics fans all with brooms?
That's
Yeah,
good.
the game is almost over, and you just see a bunch of people with like brooms,
I
just
mean,
like this.
the
That's the
talent
stuff.
level between the Celtics and the Sixers is pretty even, which is why it's so frustrating to watch the Sixers play. Like, I don't know, they're either hurt, their coaching is god awful. Like,
Brown is gone.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, and so is Elton Brand too, because
it's just the level of talent that they have. They are not swept in first round talent.
What kept rattling in my head was when we talked last week, and James was talking about the Ben Simmons Joel bit, and I still think that the combo of those two guys, if you have enough talent around them, I think it's championship worthy. I think those two guys.
No.
But what I don't think is that the coaching does not do a good enough job of making JJ and the other shooters really relevant as far as what it is they're doing. And I also think Al Horford hurts them more than it does help them.
JJ Redick is gone.
No, that's but even what I'm saying is that shooters like him, anytime that they had the ability to have anybody along those lines, they don't. They don't have anybody that they can really look to.
Well, they lost to Toronto. You remember on the last second shot by Kawhi. Mm-hmm. They were about to go in overtime.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like they switch shit up and then they come back this year and first round swept.
But the switching shit up was what? Losing
shooters.
That was it. And that was the thing.
And Jimmy Butler.
So, but that's the crux of my point, right? Is that like you're talking about they were one shot away from what ended up being the NBA champions, right? With a certain style of play and a certain dynamic that they have in the roster. I don't like Al Horford on the team. I don't like and you losing guys like JJ. There was no real replacement for him in what it is.
Exactly.
And it's like if you don't have shooters, then you're not going to work with what it is. And what you said was fun. What you said last week was perfect as far as what Joel does compared to what Ben does and how it doesn't necessarily mesh as far as them two guys only being on the court. But they're not the only guys on the court. And they shouldn't be the only guys on the court.
And they don't have shooters to spread out the floor.
Right.
So when you don't have that, then it just doesn't work.
Right.
Ben Simmons hurts your offense because if you have a point guard that doesn't shoot, like, what are you going to do? Clog the paint, because that's what he's good at, getting to the hole. If you clog the paint, then you have Embiid having to go out further because that's where all the space is.
Does TJ Warren's a small forward, right?
Yeah, and he plays for the Pacers.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. No, he plays for the Pacers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just need a shooter in there. They need a pure shooter.
You need shooters.
Yeah, because everybody goes into the lane on that team, and if you know that they're going to do that, and they can't really shoot the outside ball,
right? And Tobias Harris is not consistent enough to warrant being considered like a shooter.
No,
Markelle Fultz.
I even miss him. That's the thing. I'm missing Markelle Fultz on that fucking team at this point compared to what it is they had last year. I mean, even though I know just because of his mental whatever the fuck he was going through, it probably wouldn't work out. But
he had the yips.
Whatever the fuck he
did. Dude, you remember that one free throw? I think it was last year where he like held the ball like this, and then he was like,
his shooting is Charles Barkley's golf swing. Like that's what it was. Like,
but now he's better shooter.
He's a national championship quality.
But that's what I'm saying. If you had a Fultz doing what he's doing right now, still in Philly, different story. I don't see him getting swept by. I don't see him get swept by Boston. He might not win it, but I don't see him getting swept by Boston.
He leaves Philly, and then all of a sudden, like less than 12 months later, he's got his shot back. Is that not an indictment on like the entirety of the coaching staff?
And then you got your current point guard that can't shoot for shit and hasn't been able to shoot ever since he got in the league.
But the thing with Ben Simmons is like if you get enough shooters around Ben Simmons, I don't give a fuck if he takes a shot or not. His passing ability and his defense alone being just the top like if he could get the shooting down, he's a top 2 point guard, without question to me in the league. But it's like there's enough talent that he has that they just need other guys around him. But I didn't watch the game all that much. I was kind of like flipping. But hearing Doris Burke just the eulogy for Brett Brown, and just at the end of the game, it's like This is with 6.5 seconds left in the game. Doris Burke is like, this is like you're on a bad date and it just won't end. Like, why can't this game
just end? The Mavs now just took the lead.
Yep. Hey. I mean, and the Mavs without the unicorn.
Okay, my bad.
Oof.
How's Luka doing after the injury?
He's playing very well.
Yeah, he's doing all
right. Right now, looking at the playoffs as far as in the East, you got Boston, the only one that's already made it to the second round. Toronto is about to finish off Brooklyn. They're up 3-0. Miami's going to finish off Indiana.
Miami looks like a problem.
Yeah.
And they haven't even played Kendrick Nunn yet. He hasn't played a minute since the restart because he had the COVID thing. Nunn, and Tyler Hero are very good.
You can't forget about Duncan Robinson.
And Duncan Robinson. No, that whole team is good. And they have that Jimmy Butler guy.
I think he's a second-year player.
If Jimmy Butler makes that East gets in the championship, I'm going to lose my shit.
Milwaukee, I love Jimmy Butler.
He's my favorite guy. Milwaukee up 2-1 over Orlando. Even though Orlando, that game won, nobody saw that fucking coming.
Well, I think the Bucks came out and they just didn't play their game of basketball.
Yeah.
And then because they had been on a break for 6 months.
Right.
And then they were like, wait a second. We have that Giannis guy.
It's about getting Giannis angry again. You just got to get Giannis angry.
Give him the rock.
You just got somebody got to go smack Giannis's mother or something, get him to come out here and just fucking start balling again.
I mean, it's so hard because they double him every time. You double him, someone's going to be open. And then game 2, he just started finding people. So
we got Utah up 2-1 over Denver. They should get that done.
Okay, wait, hold on. That right there brings me to a conversation that I've had with Matt, who's a Sixers fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that they should trade Ben Simmons or Embiid, but probably Ben Simmons, to the Jazz for Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell is a fucking stud.
Do you think that the Jazz would ever do that deal?
No.
If I'm the Sixers, I don't do that deal. That's the thing is that I'm the Sixers, I don't do that deal because I still believe, and it's the same thing I've been continuously saying, I think the combination of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid is championship worthy. They just need other pieces to go with it.
Yeah, and they can draft those pieces or
I'll go through 10 coaches to get his shot right before I'm going to give him up to somebody else to get him to get that done. Dude, to me, it's like you have there's this treasure chest right here. Somebody just needs the key to unlock, and you're going to have one of the best players in the league.
Bad coaching. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And if you trade Embiid for Mitchell, what the fuck are you really doing with that? Like, I wouldn't
do it. I wouldn't trade Embiid. Like, I wouldn't trade Embiid for Mitchell, but I would.
It's the Simmons stuff.
I would consider. I don't know, but it's not gonna be a straight swap. But Embiid for Gobert, but with other shit involved, either way, I don't know yet. But
I think all you need is to draft a pure shooter. Like they're literally a dime a dozen to get a pure shooter, and then you have those two guys that can clog the lane and bounce it out to one or two shooters. They just don't. They didn't build correctly around those. They're two superstars. They let JJ Redick go. Yeah, that's so dumb.
To me, it's you spend a year. Yeah, that was stupid. You spend a couple years overpaying. Like the Kyle Korvers and the guys that are usually free agents and are just looking for that 1 or 2 year deal. They're older in age. You just got to do that.
And then you pay Tobias Harris instead of Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but
Jimmy Butler is a fucking stud.
Breaking down the rest of the bracket, the 3 most interesting series would be Houston, Oklahoma City. Houston's up 2-1 over Oklahoma.
We're up by 9 right now.
You got probably. If not, it arguably could be the most interesting, but you got Dallas and Clippers, which Dallas is winning right now.
Right by 6.
The Clippers have the series 2-1. If Dallas can pull this shit off,
I thought the Clippers they were my favorites to win. So
I think it were most people's favorites to win.
They got lucky the first game. It's like Porzingis shouldn't have been thrown out. Like clearly.
No,
that was garbage.
Yeah. So if that happens, but now the Mavs are up by 8. In the third quarter, and Porzingis isn't even playing.
That's the thing. It's like if the Dallas can pull this shit off, that'll be huge. I still don't think they do, but I mean, it will be huge. And then you got the series that I guess started off as probably the most interesting, and now it's all right. Everything's kind of falling back into place. Is the Lakers and Portland when Lakers are up 2-1 after Portland won that game 1, riding the Damian Lillard dominating everything train.
Well, I feel like we should wait until after like the next game. So like if the Lakers go up 3-1, cool. If it's 2-2 again, then
I'm talking about the way that they've looked when they've won. It's not okay. They've looked. It's not like I mean I get it. Like you want to see 3-1, and then you're like, okay, it pretty much is over. Especially after the 3-1, it's only somebody won a game 1, especially riding as high as Dame Lillard was riding into that series.
Yeah.
But it's just when I see that when I just and especially you take into consideration the Lakers have kind of been on easy street for how long. They haven't really played since quarantine. They haven't cared because they knew that everything was lined up. So that if you have a guy like Dame Lillard show up and he's riding so high, and you got the Lakers trying to kind of figure themselves out because they haven't played in a while, it kind of makes sense that they lose a game 1. So I think a lot of people were kind of freaking out. I know I probably hyped it up more than I needed to just because I'm riding. I love Dame, but it looks like
everybody was.
Anthony Davis he's just looking nasty. Like they're just.
Dude, AD
has always been nasty.
AD and LeBron should never lose a game.
They shouldn't. That kind
They should.
I mean, the only way you can beat AD and LeBron is to outshoot them. You're not going to be able to play.
Very possible.
You're not able to play good enough defense to beat them just on the defensive
you know who you're talking about, like who they're playing, right? Like they can outshoot them.
That's what I'm saying. But like, there's only a couple teams that I think can do that. It's Dallas, the Clippers, the Heat. The Heat it's a 3-point clinic every game, and it's so much fun.
But my friend John, who likes the Heat, he's a Heat fan, like a legitimate diehard Heat fan, even like before LeBron and all them. He calls it America runs on Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time he's like, "Hey Jimmy, you know America runs on Duncan, right?" I'm like, "Yo, shut the fuck."
But to me, it's when you saw LeBron mouth to the the Trailblazers. We're not built the same. We're built different, but we are built different. When you look at LeBron and you look at Anthony Davis, it's not about. It goes back to pure just.
I didn't hear that.
Oh no, LeBron looking across the court saying, "We're built different. We're just built different. You're not like me." No one's like Anthony Davis. No one's like LeBron James. The combination of the two of them, even if you want to look at X's and O's and as far as this, that, and the other, they're just built different. Like when the game's on the line, they'll become something they don't need. They'll become something that they need to be the win. They just know how to win.
I mean, but it's only them two. Like if you look at
by saying it's like it's only them two is downplaying just how big those two are. It's not just like you can't even say like the Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Like it's them two. No,
I know
it's Anthony fucking Davis and LeBron James. Like,
and they've both had moments where they didn't show up.
And trust me, I fucking hate the Lakers. I hate the Lakers with a passion. I'm a huge LeBron James fan, and I can't stand his black ass and fucking in stupid purple and yellow. I fucking hate the Lakers. I will always hate the Lakers.
It's purple and gold.
Oh, fuck that yellow. It ain't fucking gold. It's yellow. There's a difference. Gold shines. It's just yellow. It's yellow.
That's why it's gold.
Can we remember that Rajon is he's got a chance to win another championship and not play a single minute of the playoffs?
But bubble playoffs been great.
Yeah. Moving on to the NBA draft. Who had something against the Knicks?
The Knicks do.
True. Because good God, like they got the 8th pick now, so they're just bad for no reason. Because you're not getting lucky, like with the picks, and then when they do get the picks, if they get a great player, they're gone.
It's what's his name? Goddamn, why am I blanking on the owner of the Knicks?
Oh,
Dolan, asshole.
Dolan, yeah.
Jim
It's
Dolan.
the curse of Dolan. It's the Snyder. Dolan and Snyder. Good things can't happen. It's like it's just one of those things where as long as he's in charge of that team, I will never think anything good will ever happen to that team. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a bad person, and he's got bad policies, and the Knicks are a bad team.
If karma is a real thing, they should never win a thing.
And the Wizards ended up 9th?
I did not actually see anything as far as the draft lottery. The only reason I knew the lottery happened was I heard Knicks fans piping up again.
Yep.
And then wait, didn't Golden State get like second or third or something?
Yeah, they're number 2. So another thing that came out would be that it's possible that Golden State trades the number 2 pick to Philly. Now, can you imagine them taking Embiid or Ben Simmons from Philly? Because another topic is, does Ben Simmons play the point guard or power forward?
I mean, he would play power forward, right?
Well, I'm talking about in Philly. I'm talking about in Philly right now. He's playing point guard, but he's also playing power forward.
And Anthony Edwards is like everybody thinks he's going first. Kid from Georgia.
Yep. He sure is. Going back to again, we need a Ben Simmons or Kawhi type player on the Mavs. That's the only piece that I see us missing.
I mean,
just to be honest. So I would love to have Ben Simmons on the team.
To me, it's if I'm the Philadelphia 76ers and there's anything that resembles getting a top talent or getting a top draft pick and drafting it over there, I don't know why I'm blanking on names nowadays. I need sleep, I guess, more than anything.
Dude, last 2 days, I have been running on 2-3 hours of sleep every night because I've had so many cases. I slept 11 hours between Friday and Saturday, and then I went to sleep at 2 last night, woke up at 2 this afternoon. I have been fucking ragged. I feel wonderful right now. I feel like Luka Doncic does.
Unless it's Sam Hinkie.
Luka's hurt.
Unless it's Sam Hinkie making the pick, I don't trust anything Philadelphia is ever going to do.
Yeah.
When they went from trust the process and then they ran his ass out of town, and now you see the team.
Wait, is it the Sam Hinkie curse?
It might be. There's a part of me that thinks Ben Simmons is not shooting on purpose until they bring Sam Hinkie back. There's just this element of.
All right, I have the game on right now, right?
Yeah.
I love when Luka plays like this. When he's not bitching at the refs, but he's still aggressive.
Yeah, he's charged up. He's not.
Yeah, I love that.
Well,
he has those moments, but then he has moments where he's looking at the ref, complaining, not getting back on defense.
He played for Real Madrid for too long. He learned some stuff from Ronaldo. Gotta complain to the ref.
You are right. I have never agreed with you more.
European basketball has a lot more of that just because soccer is their main sport.
Well, speaking of soccer.
Well, hold on, real quick before you switch off. Even though that was a good segue. Grass. I'm sorry, I had to shit on it.
Good segue, but fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Do you think that there's a part of the reason that Luka get looked upon kind of this just whiny bitch is because he's white?
No.
You don't think it has something to do with that perfectly coiffed hair and shit?
No. It's the way he's consistent with it. He's sitting there looking at the ref.
LeBron does.
I know, but people call LeBron a whiny bitch too.
But I guess maybe it's just because LeBron wins that there's a certain limit. You can't go too far with him. You might complain about it.
Luka just came in the league. Luka should not expect to get the calls that he expects at the moment.
Who did he get the tech against the other night?
He got a tech today.
Not today. Who did he get the tech against the other night?
I don't know. It's the same team, the Clippers.
Yeah, I know. Which was it Beverly?
I don't know. You're talking about it was Markieff Morris.
Yeah.
But that was Porzingis though.
No, we're not. No. It's the one where he elbowed him down on the ground, and then he turns around. And
that was Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell, got it.
Yeah,
because Montrezl called him a little bitch ass white boy.
When Luka looked back at him and said
he stopped flopping.
Stop flopping. I'm like, Luka, you ain't been in the league that long, bro.
Right?
Right. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But
Luka carries this sort of I think that there's this aura of my shit don't stink. I'm this badass little motherfucker thing that I think vibes.
Kind of is though.
He is though.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that. Talk all the shit you want, but to the players, don't sit there and bitch to the referees and not get back on defense. That's
I think it might be he was the LeBron James when he was in Europe, and he probably was getting those calls. And so when he's not getting them now, because he is a superstar, but he's not Kawhi Leonard, he's not LeBron James, he's not getting that treatment yet. And I'm sure that just gets him frustrated. He's like, I've been getting that call my whole life, and now I'm not getting it.
And then he just sits there and like goes like this. And it's like, call that shit. And then like they're running back, and it's a fast break. And I'm like, get the fuck
but
back.
That's youth. That's just youth, man. He won't be doing that in 2-3 years from now. I guarantee.
Yeah, but right now it's just frustrating as hell.
No, I get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I get it.
Now, speaking about soccer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for my segue that didn't work, but now it's back.
Speaking about Europeans.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Europeans like soccer. Don't you have something to say about soccer?
No, stop it. I'm gonna